So Flo and young David, they sit on the bench at the end of Main Street there, and they survey their new home. Nothing but mud, potholes, wooden sidewalks. Wasn't even any street lights yet. And there's no Al either, eh? And he was supposed to have met them there. She doesn't know what to do. They don't have phones up there yet. They don't even have power, really, so she can't call him. She doesn't know where he lives, so she just sits and waits, eh? And about an hour goes by. Her just sitting there in the cold. And finally, this American soldier, he pulls his truck over to the side of the road. He rolls his window down just a little bit so he can call out. Said, "Are you lost, lady?" "No," she says. "I'm just waiting for my husband." The soldier boy, he was horrified, eh? To find a pregnant woman and a young child left alone in February in the Yukon. So he drove straight over to the RCMP station there, got him to put out an APB on one Albert Dawes, ex-soldier and errant husband. And they tracked him down about an hour later, eh? Maybe an hour and a half. Drunk at a wedding on the other side of town. He forgot all about her coming in, eh? So the soldier, as the story goes, he loads Flo and young David up into his truck, and they head over to pick up the old man. And this American guy, he was so disgusted with my grandfather that he wouldn't even let Al get up into the cab of the truck with the rest of them. He made him ride in the flatbed in the cold, eh? Al directed him to a little 2-room shack at the foot of Alexander Street, right next to the Clay Cliffs. Nothing but a bed, eh? And a wood stove and a old armchair in the corner. Built in a little hollow, too, eh? You had to dry the firewood out before you could get it to burn. Good. Buy your water by the bucket from the water wagon. What a life, eh? Good. What a life. Later on that summer, my mother was born. Florence Dawes would go on to raise up 5 children in a series of 2-room shacks and small houses in downtown Whitehorse. Not so much alongside the man she had married. More like in spite of him, actually, hey? Yeah. He passed away when I was about 9 years old of stomach cancer, cirrhosis of the liver, general hard living. He was yellow and angry and weighed less than 100 pounds the day he died, and I'll be honest with you, he was not mourned by many. My most vivid memory of him is how he had these ancient, filthy, stained-up, freaky-ass false teeth, and he'd hang them halfway out of his face like a monster, make weird monster noises, chase me and my little sister and my cousins around on the threadbare rug in the front room, hey, till one of us whacked a toe on a door jamb or something, or peed our pants. My grandma, she'd come squawking in out of the kitchen with her straw broom in her hand, say, "Knock that off, eh? The lot of yous will belt the snot out of someone. So help me." My gran, she's famous, eh, for belting the snot out of someone. For cooking up an unsliced up chunk of bologna that she got special from the butcher, cooking it up in the oven like a roast, eh? It was embarrassing. For taking the top 10 layers of your skin off on bath night with a sandpaper-like towel straight off the Yukon clothesline. Think about it. And for collecting wax paper, string, tin foil, rubber bands, and canned food. Florence Dawes had 5 children. She had 13 grandchildren. She has 11 great-grandchildren and 2 little dogs that never, ever stop yapping. She has had one of her kidneys removed, and she now drinks only green tea to cleanse the blood. She now stands about 4 feet 2 inches tall. She's an incredible shrinking grandma. And she allows herself 8 Players Light regular per day. Whether she needs them or not, eh? She, even with the glaucoma, she can still knit faster than anyone I've ever seen without even looking down at her hands. Now, Patricia Cumming, that's my dad's mom. She was born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, in 1920, the daughter of Irish immigrants. She married below her, somehow, to this handsome Scottish boy soldier by the name of Don. Now, depending on who you talk to, where you get the story from, hey, I'm a real blue blood, as you can tell. My grandfather, he was a bit of a dreamer, hey, or possibly a bit of a deadbeat. Depends where you get the story. I mean, maybe he was just always searching down the next best employment opportunity for him and his young family, or perhaps he just couldn't hold down a job. We're not really sure about that, but the reality was that he moved his wife and his 4 young sons around a lot, from the prairie to the coast to to the island, to the interior, to the bush, up north, finally from Saskatoon, Port Alberni, Nanaimo. What other great metropolises were there? Carmacks, Whitehorse, Dawson City, finally back to Whitehorse again, where he landed himself a job working on the Alaska Highway for the Highways Department. Now, Alaska Highway, you got to understand, is 1,521 miles of road built in a little over 8.5 months during wartime through frozen, unforgiving territory that never really wanted it there in the first place, okay? So getting yourself a job fixing up that aforementioned highway, well, was then and still is actually considered fairly steady work.